because as we currently are sitting right now, yeah, we did have a little injury situation, right? And we obviously know that was with the rookie quarterback Will Howard. Yeah, he's out there at practice. QB center exchange situation goes down. Initially, they're saying broken hand. Now the reports are saying that he broke a finger, but the issue is it is on his throwing hand. So we've obviously seen quarterbacks play with broke hands or injured hands. Justin Herbert, prime example of that. I want to say a year or 2 years ago, it was on his off hand though. The problem is when it's on your throwing hand, the control, the accuracy, and everything like that. So Coach Tomlin has already said that, they're going to evaluate him. He is a week to week type of dude right now, but all reports are at least looking at this being a 3-week situation minimum. Like I said, it's unfortunate the timing of it more so than anything, because when you're looking at the timing right now, we would all agree, man, you got 3 preseason games, 3 weeks. It's like, man, that's essentially the whole preseason. That sucks. But on the flip side, when I look at, what Will Howard potentially gains in this situation, I say, man, it takes the pressure of him having to go out there and either, not even, I don't want to even say from a positive standpoint, but more so just you avoid putting out bad tape, right? There isn't a lot of positive that comes from not being out on that field, especially for young players, because you want the reps. You want to show these teams, these managers or general managers, what you're capable of and what your skill sets are. So that way you got a chance to be a starter or at least get your career going in the right direction. But when, the flip side of that is you can go out there and put out some bad tape, some hot garbage. And yeah, that'll get you on the fast track up out of here, because now you've confirmed what may or may not have been, said about you. So in that space, or at least in that regard, Will won't have to worry about the quote unquote bad tape being out there. So at least that's a positive for him. But we know as a whole, this is a major blow to Will in terms of his opportunity to see the field, and more importantly, his opportunity to maybe change the organization's mind about feeling like they have to pursue a quarterback early next year in the offseason, right? We said, yeah, we understand with Aaron Rodgers, 1-year deal. If he plays great, okay, you bring him back, and that's probably best case scenario. But more than likely, it's, we're going to go out of here and ultimately, be drafted to do it next year, right? But we said, man, hey, when we brought in Will Howard, hey, this is a national champion quarterback, captain of the Ohio State football team when they were out there doing their things. And with Will, we felt like, okay, he has a lot of traits that are similar to Big Ben. There are some traits that are similar to some of these, Josh Allen-esque type quarterbacks. And that's the thing that's exciting about him. But the problem is, we don't get to see it in game because of him ultimately, being injured right now. And that's the name of the game. That's the unfortunate part. What I will say for him, though, is focus on when you get back healthy, being sharp as heck in terms of all the meetings. You need to know everything that they're asking in that meeting room. You need to show it there that, hey, mentally, I'm still engaged. Mentally, I'm still fired. Mentally, I got this. But the other side is when you finally get that opportunity to touch the field again, and that's more than likely going to be in the regular season with you being the practice squad guy, more than likely, right? Or you taking the reps against the scout team, in that capacity, man, you better light it up. Look the part. Be sharp. Don't be a robot. Play in that practice setting as if that was your game. And we've talked about it. You've heard me, Terrence Garvin, at times talk about that mindset of, yeah, when you're in that space, man, and you're going against the starters, quote unquote, man, if you whooping the starters, but what they saying about you, right? So that's how I look at Will right now. And I say, man, got to get it going, man. Maybe this could be, that silver lining or that blessing in disguise, so to speak, for him. But we will see, man. But like I said, terrible timing, and super unfortunate, for him to go down with, the finger injury on the throwing hand, man. So, like I said, man, that's the first part of the update, though, as we're talking about Will Howard and his finger injury. All right. I will take a quick pause before I get to the next part. Man, y'all saw them freaky bots coming back up here, man. Dude, we ain't had the freaky bots in forever. Okay. I thought the freak bots left when my dog Deke, when he had hit it on me. I was like, yo, take the freaks with you. Clearly, we got some stragglers. All right. Clearly, them freaky bots, man, they still lurking. They said, oh, it's football season. we got time. All right. So shout out to getting them removed, and we'll make sure we try our best to stay alert for them freaky deakies when they be pulling up on us like that. All right, because we ain't got time for that. All right, we don't got time for that. But let's get it. But more importantly though, man, we did have a couple of other things that X concept say, yo, you know what? That makes the channel. You get on the screen for that. With the Freaky Bots for sure celebrating episode 700. All right, it wouldn't be a show without the freaks. All right, they say the freaks come out at night. Hey, the freaks come out at night. So we got the freaks. All right, the freaks is up out of here. I'm trying to work on getting them completely up out of here, but it is what it is sometimes. All right, it is what it is. But anywho, let me get back to what we was talking about over here. All right, let me get back on mine. All right, but we did have some other cool stuff taking place with training camp practice and some of the training camp updates, right? Oh no. Shout out to Slim, shout out to L Marcus 39. So listen, Deke didn't do anything. There was nothing negative they did, man. My dog, man, this was back in January, right when the season ended. Just reached out, man. He was like, he's ready to grow. He's ready to try to expand and try to do more on his own and just show that he can be a solo dude, man. And as a supporter, as a friend, as a dude that is just fond of what his growth has been, I'm like, bro, go get it, man. So we're in full support of the movement, but that is ultimately where Deke is and why you don't see him on the channel since the second, third week of January time frame. So yeah, so that is where my dog is. All right, and we make sure that we support him. All right, this ain't no beef. If you see his content, man, show the boy some love, man, because that's my dog over there. He doing his thing. All right, so respect. But that's the vibe. So that's why you see the new faces over here. More Terrence Garvin. You see Mark Bergen. You see Tyler Candelaria, Dominic Farrell. You see Tanisha. All right, Really Flawed Football Channel. All right, so that's what we got going on in terms of how you ultimately, just got to be like water. That's what my man Bruce Lee said. Bruce Lee said, be like water. So I'm just being like water. It's go this way, flow back that way, flow this way. And that's how you do it, baby. All right. But that is also the beauty of life, man. It's ever evolving. And you either evolve or you pass. All right. And we don't want to pass away. So let's keep evolving, baby. All right. But let's get it. Because what was also taking place in practice this week, Jonnu Smith. Yeah, good old Jonnu Smith. All right. Because we obviously know with Jonnu Smith, that's one of Arthur Smith's guys, right? We talk about the history, man, going back Tennessee, Atlanta. We obviously know Jonnu Smith, ultra versatile, man. We saw that even with his time in Miami last year, where he was named to his first Pro Bowl. But with that, though, comes some familiarity, comes some understanding, and comes some track record. All right. And this week we had Jonnu Smith taking reps at running back for us. Yeah, he was getting running back reps. Now I know some people gonna be like, yo, why the heck are y'all doing running back reps with Jonnu Smith tight end? Jonnu Smith got a history of toting that rock in the league, man, in Arthur Smith systems. Okay. And the way that he goes about it, it's unique, but I'm telling you now, if you don't think he's capable of gashing you on a play or two, it's a clip. I want to say when he was in Tennessee with Arthur Smith, him in the backfield, toss play, he hit it for about 60 yards on these folks. Should have scored, but that's for another conversation. All right. But you can see where he does have the vision. He does have the ability to put a foot in the ground and get north and south with pretty good acceleration. Is he a full-time running back? Absolutely not. But could he get you out of a stadium in a pickle? Could he be a guy that you utilize in certain short yardage or certain just situational downs? Yes, you can. And even if you want to hide it, dress it up, or anything like that, it's like, man, you bring out Jonnu Smith as your running back, and now we're over here like, what's the personnel from a defensive standpoint? Because Jonnu Smith can line up at running back, he can line up at fullback, he can line up at tight end, you can line him up at the slot receiver. So as a defense, now I'm asking myself, is this base personnel? Is this dime? Is this nickel? Is this big nickel? Is it penny? These are all the things that you're trying to create little advantages with, so that way you can ultimately slow down, how the defense wants to attack you or how a coordinator wants to play you. And if you can cause just that half a second, we ain't looking for a long, we're looking for half a second, all right? But if you just get that half a second of doubt, that half a second of let me process this, boom, that could be the difference in it being an explosive play or not. But Jonnu Smith has tape that supports that. He has tape out there in Tennessee with Arthur Smith where you see him toting that rock and getting after it. Heck, even in Atlanta, he has some clips out there. Arthur Smith and Jonnu Smith, man, they have a nice rapport and a really good understanding of each other's strengths, or at least how Arthur Smith perceives Jonnu Smith's strengths and weaknesses. And I think that's something else that will be a nice, addition in terms of just how versatile and how flexible we can be on offense. Because we know, as we said last episode, man, we got to score more points. So that way you don't put as much pressure and strain on this defense. But we also know with this defense, they got some contract stuff going on over there. We're going to get to that in a little bit. Right? But Jonnu Smith taking those reps. We talked about Mark Robinson also getting some reps at fullback earlier this week. Now, to me, I think there is a little bit of a difference, though. The Mark Robinson fullback reps, to me, seemed like they came out of necessity due to the injuries, as we talked about with the rookie, right? But with Jonnu's doesn't seem out of, we needed to do this. It seems like, we are wanting, we have a desire to see something. We're hunting something. And that's the part where I feel a little bit more intrigued behind the Jonnu Smith element, whereas I'm still on my wait and see approach with Mark Robinson. Because my fear is this: I'm going to get excited about Mark Robinson because I love Mark Robinson in terms of how he plays, right? Physical, balls to the wall, 100 miles an hour, see ball, hit ball. I do not care who you are. I'm putting this helmet on you. Like, I love that about his game. But I want to see, are they actually going to allow him to evolve and show that he can do more? Okay, he's not getting the snaps at linebacker. Well, look, he can do special teams. Okay, he's getting special teams snaps, but look, he can also go over there and play fullback. I want to see them actually give him that opportunity. If they do, I'm way more excited, as we talked about. It gives me Rosie Nix vibes. But if it's not that, then it's just the Kendrick Green. You're teasing me. You're telling me I look good, but at the same time, you're like, hey, you ain't my type, though. You look real good, though, but you ain't my type. Like, no, man, don't tell me that. All right. So to me, that's kind of my wait and see approach with Mark Robinson. But like I said, man, Jonnu Smith, that's got action. Cut the tape on. Tennessee, that's got action. Atlanta, that's got action. He will tote that rock. And if you are if you are less than ready, he will put that foot in the ground and for sure will hit it on you, baby. For sure will hit it on you, man. And like I said, I think that's the cool part about the pickup and why Arthur Smith likes him. And I can see why the organization is doing what we're doing in that sense, because the more ways that you can, or the more people that you can throw out to attack defenses, to make defense have to think, to make defense have to process that information, the better it's going to be for you offensively. When defenses are allowed to just line up and they aren't confused, they don't have to do a lot of communication. There's not a lot of pre-snap, post-snap movement. There aren't building formations. It's too stagnant. And we would agree, at this level, defenders are good too. Defenders are fundamentally sound as well. And unfortunately, if you don't have just the elite of the elite, you're not going to be able to just line up in front of another team with a vanilla, attack and just say, hey, beat the man in front of you when you're one-on-one. We know that when I was here, that was our model. That was how we did it. But we had personnel that reflected that. We said of lately, the personnel hasn't necessarily reflected that. So, okay, you got one or two things. You either find the personnel or you find the scheme to, highlight these things that the guys currently have. And I think we kind of got the best of both worlds right now with Arthur Smith while bringing in a DK, while bringing in a Jonnu Smith. It's like we're kind of in that hybrid model, sort of speaking. It's just time to see now, man. And that's the beauty of the games being here. Now we know preseason's going to be a little bit vanilla, but still seeing it. And then when the regular season hits, now we'll know. Now we'll be getting those answers to the test each and every week. And like I said, man, can't wait for all of that to start, man. And like I said, Saturday night, man, we got action, man. First official game. So, baby, can't wait. Hit the like button one time for the coach. Don't forget to subscribe either. All right. But let's get it. And what up, Louis G? I know it's been a while, man. Good to see you back in the building, though, one time for the coaching. Craig Ellis always showing love. He said, smash the like button. So, you know what we got to do? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. One time for the culture. And don't forget to subscribe. All right, had to get it up out my system. I feel better now. Yo, the freaky bots is botting today, boy. I sees ya. I sees ya. That's how you know it's game time. That's how you know the season back. The freaks back, man. Heck yeah. They say, yo, I heard y'all streaming. I heard this content being put out there. I heard this giveaways going on. Heard you got the 700th episode, over 50,000 subscribers, man. The freaks is out. No, y'all got to chill. Y'all got to chill. We ain't got time for that. All right. Sheesh. I know y'all excited. I appreciate you being excited. All right. I do. But easy. Sheesh. But for sure, enjoying our situation right now. All right. But let's keep it going. Let's keep it going with our training camp update. All right. So like I said, man, we obviously talked about Will Howard dealing with the finger injury, right? We talked about Jonnu Smith getting his running back reps, but we also had roster movement by way of some new signings happening. Hey, Leah Warren, don't you put that evil on me, Leah. All right. Come on now, Leah. Come on. I got to put. So she hit. She's like, yeah, what am I doing on the laptop, Moats? I can't blame. Nah, it's always Deke's fault when the freaky bots come up here. All right. It's your fault. It's Deke's fault. It's everybody's fault. It ain't me. I'm innocent. Don't you wish that evil on me, Leah. Don't you wish that evil on me. You know I'm innocent over here. All right. But yeah, let me get it back going. All right. Sheesh. Let's get it. But we did have a couple of roster additions, man. A couple of signings. Signed 2 guys this week. Actually, once it was yesterday / earlier today, and it's pretty daggone cool. Pretty daggone cool in the sense that, number one of these dudes is a 3-time Pro Bowler, highly decorated veteran, has been doing it for a long time, offensive lineman, and the other guy is a quarterback, man. And both of these dudes, man, bring something unique to our situation, to our offense right now. So first guy that we signed was Andres Pete. All right, so with Andres, man, he came out in 2015, 13th overall pick. And yeah, has went on to start in, 103 out of 126 games throughout his career. Was played. He got drafted to the New Orleans Saints. Spent his first 8 seasons there. Was a starter there was a starter those first 8 or starter the 7 of those 8 seasons. Pro Bowl 2018 through 2020 down there, playing at both guard and tackle, mainly on the left side. But that's who he is, man. Left tackle, left guard, highly versatile. Like I said, he's been doing it for a while. Respected dude, not the greatest tackle in the world, but for sure knows what he's doing, man. For sure is a starter. And like I said, man, up until last year, 2023, 2024 time frame, that's when he shifted to a little bit more of a reserved role. But in terms of experience, in terms of in-stadium experience, understanding how to practice, feeling like you got a guy that you can at least rely on in a pickle if an injury happens or somebody isn't performing to a satisfactory manner, you do feel confident that Andres is capable, man. So I do like that. In terms of him coming here, he was just with the Raiders last year in 2024, just for some more contextual purposes. So it's not like he's been sitting and not playing anywhere. This dude was on an active roster just a year ago. But like I said, man, a dude that has a lot of experience, like I said, 3-time Pro Bowler, has been doing this thing since 2015, man. All right. So when we're looking at that signing specifically, we obviously point to what? The Broderick Jones element of it, man, and just some of the availability behind Broderick, and some of the availability on the interior part of the offensive line. We know right now our top backup offensive lineman is Calvin Anderson, and he's been, a little banged up. So with that, the flip side is, okay, now we're looking at some of these other guys who really don't have any in-stadium experience. And it makes you a little bit uneasy, makes you a little bit concerned. So when you bring in a guy like Andres Pete, this is a guy that you feel more than capable, can plug in, and he will be able to do a serviceable job, man. So I do like that part about Andres. The next player that we did sign was Logan Woodside. We obviously talked about the Will Howard injury. So we know no Will Howard in terms of the preseason, at least for game 1. We know Aaron Rodgers isn't playing in game 1. I'll talk about the list of who's playing, who's not playing. So no Aaron Rodgers, no Will Howard. You don't want to have Mason Rudolph playing the whole game. Obviously, you got Skylar Thompson as well. But that's the Logan Woodside element of it. Coach Tomlin did say he's going to be available to play in the game. So, we'll see if he gets an opportunity late. But at the same time, man, if I'm Skylar Thompson, I'm over here like, bro, you ain't seeing that field, man. I want the whole second half. All right. As soon as Mason comes out, I want the whole thing. Like that's usually how it goes for the depth guys in the preseason. So we will see how that works. But for Logan Woodside, also has I dropped my remote. But with Logan Woodside, he also has some history with Arthur Smith, man. Spent time with Arthur Smith in Tennessee when obviously Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator down there. And then he also spent time with Arthur Smith with the Falcons when Arthur Smith was the head coach. So with that, you do see some continuity, some familiarity in both scenarios, though. Logan Woodside has not thrown a pass in a game. Now, he's played in about 13 games, but yeah, he's, not a ton of, why y'all ain't tell me I still had this daggone comment on the screen too, man? What the heck is this? Get that up off of here, man. All right. That's what happened when the bots coming in here, man. They are wilding today. Jeez Louise. Freaky bots got me dropping the remote, man. This is nuts. Like I said, man, I'm freaky bots, but we ain't had the bots like that in forever. Like forever. All right. They out here today, though. Sheesh, they out here today. But going back to Logan Woodside, though, like I said, man, the familiarity that he has with Arthur Smith, I think that is something that will give him at least a fighter's chance in terms of moving up the depth chart, maybe still in a roster spot, or making the organization see something that says, you know what, man, maybe we got you when the season gets here, man. Maybe we'll keep you on that short list. If an injury happens, we'll call you back up. So that is something that I think is a positive for Logan Woodside and his signing. But like I said, man, for this preseason game, if I'm Skylar Thompson, I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to hit any of that Logan Woodside stuff, bro. I don't want to hear none of that. So we will see, though. We will see. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun though, man. Like I said, Andres Pete, that's the one y'all better watch out for, though, man. I like his game, man. Like I said, a lot of experience, and more importantly, I think he'll be a good tool for Broderick, man. And what I mean by that is this: not just a tool to learn from, but a tool to compete with, a tool to push and motivate. Sometimes you need to look over your shoulder and be like, hey, man, that dude knows what he's doing. So I better figure mine out and be more consistent because he knows what he's doing. All right. It works. I've experienced it on both sides of it, man, where I'm the guy providing that pressure. And then I also have been the guy that has had pressure provided on me. And it's like, man, it makes you prepare with urgency. It makes you keep your craft sharp. And that's the whole iron sharpening iron mentality. And that's why we do what we do here in the black and gold. But to me, man, I think this is a good opportunity for him. And more importantly, I think it's a really good opportunity for a guy like Broderick to really, like I said, man, be able to learn and ultimately, man, take his game to that next level, because we're going to be dependent on him in a major way. And he's capable. And that's what we're excited about, him and company on that offensive line. But it's going to be an exciting time, man. It's going to be an exciting time. You better believe it, baby. And like I said, man, if y'all digging what we on, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.